Hey everyone, welcome to a special bonus episode of Locked On Lakers for a Sunday. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky, 119-95. The Lakers cruise past Milwaukee. Andy, was this the best win of the season? We'll break it down next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Thanks to everybody for making Locked On Lakers your first listen of every day. Of course, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network in the known universe, and presumably the unknown universe too. So this is one of those deals, Andy, where the Lakers, this road trip kind of could have gone either way. But man alive, did they close out strong in Milwaukee?
Yeah, this was one of the best games they've played this season, especially when you consider second end of a back-to-back 5-game roadie. They obviously have not had LeBron James this entire season, but very last minute, no Rui Hachimura, no Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart was dealing with an illness that JJ said has been going around the team. Some guys have been able to play through it more. Marcus couldn't. Rui dealing with some calf soreness. And this, when you consider how much the Lakers have been all over the map during this road trip, but more on the glass half empty side, if not the glass is broken and there are no more glasses in the cabinet side than glass half full. This was a really strong way to close out 119-95 win over the Bucks in a game that they basically led and controlled wire to wire and played not just arguably their best defense of the season. They played, according to the folks over at Lakers PR and stats and all that, the 34 points that they held the Bucks to in the first half of the game. That was the best first half defense since January of 2021 against the Bulls. To put that in perspective, current Milwaukee Buck Kyle Kuzma was a Laker at the time when they did this.
He was a child. He was in seventh grade.
No, he had a ring. He had a ring at the time. He was a man.
Was in the NBA. It wasn't that long
He was
ago.
the kid that they selected to go forth with.
It wasn't that long ago. But here's the thing, and JJ talked about this in his walk-off interview with Mike Trudell, which, by the way, only happens when they're winning. They only do the halftime walk-off interview if the Lakers are up going into the break. And I had texted this to you before. It's like the reason I think the defense was in parts so good is because the offense was so much more precise and intentional, and all of these other. They ran good possession after good possession after good possession, and then that put them. They didn't turn the ball over much, and that put them, because they were putting the ball in the basket, or at the very least taking good shots. That put them in position to be able to set a defense, to do what they want to do. They weren't on mismatches. If Milwaukee wasn't out on the run, all that kind of stuff. And so good offense gave them the opportunity to play good defense, and they step in passing lanes. It was a really, really well executed game plan.
Yeah, they finished with 15 turnovers, but a couple of those were like guys stepping out of bounds or offensive fouls, something like that. And I would be curious to see if any of those turnovers came in crunch time. But I agree with you. If nothing else, there were very few turnovers in this game that it just felt like, what the hell are you doing? Like what was that? Why did you do that?
Luka had a couple that were like, we're really rolling here. Let's get a little saucy with what we're doing. But those were like the kind of turnovers you can live with, because it's a team that's feeling really good about itself and getting even more.
And
aggressive.
also, I think actively trying to just completely demoralize this Bucks squad and, trying to play some psychological warfare with them. And again, they didn't go overboard with it. Like they did not allow themselves, and they did a little bit more of this against the Pelicans, but it is the Pelicans who the Lakers were the last straw of the Willie Green era. They ended up firing Willie Green after this game, which we both said we were around Willie Green a little bit when he was a player. Really nice guy. It sucks to see that, but to be honest, he's probably ready to go. He probably was ready to be done with that by the time he was let go. But you can't screw around with a team like the Bucks, and there was a lot of not screwing around in this game. Their energy was super high. We mentioned the defense. Deandre Ayton was, I thought, the catalyst of this defense. He spent a lot of time as the primary defender on Giannis, which I didn't necessarily expect, in part because with so many guys out last minute, I was like, I'm not quite sure who's going to start, how JJ can do this, whatever. His defense against Giannis was terrific. Really.
Yeah. He was just active all night. It was another really good, I think people are starting to see, like, what does a good DeAndre Ayton game look like? And it's what you saw in Milwaukee. It's 9 of 13 from the floor. It's 20 points. It's 10 rebounds. It's a couple steals. It's a block. It's like there's certain things you're not going to get. Obviously, he's not a stretch 5 who's going to, hit you 2 or 3 threes. He's, if he shoots 4 free throws in a night, that's a couple weeks worth of free throws for
I was going to say, you misspelled a week.
Right. And so like that, but like, and I think Lakers fans, this is what I love about, and we'll get to Austin Reaves, and we'll certainly get to Luka Doncic, who was nails on
and the debut of my boy Adou Thiero.
Yes. So there's a lot to get to, but like just with Ayton, we can talk more about this for Monday's show. One of the things that I think is just great about the potential here for this season is Lakers fans aren't looking for Ayton to be, a Hall of Famer. They're not looking for him to be a franchise cornerstone who was drafted number 1 ahead of Luka. Like all of these, they're looking for a guy who can come in and like they'll get excited about what we saw on Saturday night, what we saw on Friday night. Really what Ayton's been doing all year. We're not going to get, the Lakers community is not going to get hung up on the things that Ayton doesn't do that make him sort of an incomplete player, something less than an all-star. Whatever. None of that stuff matters here. He is going out and he's producing, he's had more, most of the time has done exactly what the Lakers need from him offensively, tried to do it on the glass, trying to put out the effort defensively. It has been, I think, as perfectly executed like an early season script as the Lakers could have had for DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, and it's 2 consecutive strong games after what I think had been some lulls in this road trip. And, both of us were bullish when they brought in Ayton, and neither one of us was going to make too much out of it. But with a guy like Ayton and some of the ups and downs of his career, you are on guard for backsliding. And these last 2 games, and then especially this one, when you are matched up so often against one of the premier players in the league, like JJ was very much timing Ayton's minutes around Giannis's until Ayton got into foul trouble, and then he had to adjust some of it. But he was very much timing putting Ayton out on the floor when Giannis was out there.
Well, they needed that body. But there's a lot, we'll save some of it for Monday because there's shorter show for this one post game, but there's just a lot to get into with him and why it is going so well, and what it means for him to have to be the 3rd or 4th best player on this team once LeBron is back, rather than the 1st or 2nd. In the meantime, Andy, we need to talk about Luka Doncic. And we need to talk about some guys who really played an important role in this game, who we have not seen much of this year. We'll get to all of that next.
After we, of course, let you know that Locked On Lakers is brought to you by Robinhood. Your ambition just met its match. With Robinhood, you play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again. You channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, crypto, all in one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools. Plus, you can take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
Locked On Lakers is also brought to you by Game Time. Basketball season, it is off and running, and nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. But we all know getting tickets can be a total headache in between waiting in queues, surprise fees, prices that jump right before checkout. It's easy to get frustrated. Really, all you want to do is cheer on your team. And that's where Game Time comes in. It's the app that gives fans the advantage because of all the information it gives you. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NBA tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. In our family, we use Game Time a lot to go see soccer games, LAFC, Galaxy, Angel City, and a lot of times we'll do it the day of the game. We check out Game Time, see where the prices are, pick out our tickets. We know exactly where they're going to be. The kids can see, what the view is going to look like, pick them out, what it's going to cost. No surprises for me when I go to pay for them. So if you're looking for game day tickets for the NBA, you can sometimes find those things for under $25. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. A couple guys who, let's just mention Luka was awesome. Yeah. And in the third quarter, particularly when the Lakers were, Milwaukee made a nice push coming out of the break. They go on a 15-0 run, which this is where it's nice to have built up a 30-point lead as the Lakers did. The other team goes on a 15-0 run, and it's not that big of a deal. So I don't even think I answered. It is, I think, the best win they've had this season. I mentioned that in the open. But Luka was instrumental in stopping these pushes. A couple times Milwaukee got it down, I think, to 13. And one of those instances, Luka went on a personal 9-0 run. Later,
was that the back-to-back step backs?
Yeah, Reaves. Then he had a couple plays, the little two-man game with Maxi Kleber, who we'll mention here in a moment. Reaves pushed back with some critical threes, and the Lakers never let that lead get down under back to single digits, and so really were in control the entire time. Luka was just fantastic. He got to the line a lot. He was getting into the paint. When Milwaukee tried to double him, he made them pay. When they didn't try to double him, he made them pay. 41 points, 18 of 20 from the free throw line, which is a big deal. We're always looking to see, is he getting to the lane? Is he drawing contact? No question he did that on Saturday. 6 assists. He had a steal. He had a couple blocks. It was a phenomenal performance from Luka. So let's just mention that. But I also like a couple guys.
I'll say this really quick.
Yeah.
Most nights, if you get 20 points from Deandre Ayton plus Luka and Austin combining for 50% from the field together, 50% from behind the arc together, and 66 points, you are almost certainly going to win those games. You just are. I mean, that's super hyper efficient work from your two big name guys, and then a third guy in DeAndre Ayton stepping up like that. That is a big formula for consistent winning.
I mentioned Kleber, and we'll get to Thiero in a second. But Kleber, he had one bucket. He had a 3 in the second half. It was a good, an important one. It was actually the first half, I think. But he was a plus 24. I'm sorry, 22 coming off the bench. He had 3 assists and he set some monster screens. He played well. And you could see why JJ pointed him out after the game. You could see why he was just doing a lot of things that were noticeable but aren't necessarily box score stats.
Yeah, I also thought Dalton had, particularly in the first half, he had some of his best minutes that he's had in a while. Finished with just 9 points, but he was 4 of 8 from the field. Like just the idea of him, I don't know how many, if any, of those shots were taken in garbage time, but not that many of them because Dalton played 34 minutes in this game. Like he was out there a lot. He had 6 rebounds. He had 3 steals. And I thought beyond just making the shots, I thought this was the most assertive and decisive on either end that Dalton looked in a
particularly
while.
In the first half.
Yeah, in the first half especially. There was a couple sequences where Dalton made mistakes defensively. Like AJ Green hit 3 corner threes from the same corner where he was left wide. I mean, wide open by one time it was Dalton. Another time, I think it may have been Austin. The third time might have been Dalton again. But overall, though, this was the type of game that you look at from Dalton and you say, this could keep him on the floor. Like this could actually keep Dalton on the floor. Things may change, obviously, when LeBron's back, Rui's back, Marcus is back, Gabe Vincent eventually back. Like that might squeeze Dalton anyway. But this, if he plays like this when given the opportunities, JJ will feel comfortable putting him on the floor.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. And so I liked all of it. Everybody who stepped on the floor, Laravia missed a ton of shots. But aside from the shooting, I actually thought was a reasonably positive contributor what they were trying to do. Some nights you don't shoot the ball well. We talked about Maxey. I thought Jackson Hayes, aside from a couple moments where I just wanted to see him go up stronger, he got the ball in the paint, use that 20 pounds that you put on this offseason and go up through contact, try to draw a foul. He passed out to the perimeter instead. But his work on the glass, this is something the Lakers did very well in the first half. Milwaukee missed an awful lot of shots. And, they missed an awful lot of shots. And the Lakers, for the most part, limited them to one opportunity each time down the floor. That was a huge part of their defensive success. And so I like what Jackson did overall. Rebounded much stronger than he had, but I think that's where that extra muscle is coming into play.
And protecting the lane the lane as well.
He just had a nice game. 10 points, 6 rebounds. He had a couple steals. And then Thiero made his debut. He had 5. What is it? He ended up with 4 points, I should say.
4 points.
1 dunk and a couple of trips to the line. It was something like it was nice. It was a really well executed for the second teamers. It was a Bronny steal, well-timed pass to Thiero filling the lane, and then you could see the bounce there. He actually got his first points off of free throws, which got the group excited. And then you could tell how much they like the kid because they wouldn't leave the floor until they could get the game ball. And I don't know why. I'm sure there are rules about this. It's not like baseball where you go through 7,000 balls a game.
I think I may be wrong, but I think it's whatever court you're on, they keep the balls. I think that,
right. I don't know
rule.
exactly right. I don't know exactly what it is, but they were trying to get the game ball and they wouldn't give it to him. Finally, Giannis actually came over and took the ball from one of their equipment people or whatever it is and just gave it to Luka, which is cool. And I get it's nobody's trying to be difficult, but it's people got to follow the rules. But Giannis came and solved the problem. But there are
rules, Donnie.
There are rules, and we'll talk more about Thiero and really in detail for Monday's show. But it was just cool to see how hard the team was working to get this kid the ball because it shows how much they like the work that he's putting in.
he also too, he only played a handful of minutes, but you can just see the athleticism in Adou Thiero. Like it jumps off the charts that this kid is an athlete. And I'm not just talking about the dunk, which was really forceful with a chase down defender in pursuit. Like he had to really throw this thing down quick and hard. He managed to make it happen. You watch him cover ground. You watch him go up for rebounds.
He's a big kid.
He looks like he's got, even by NBA standards, plus athleticism.
Oh yeah, no, there's no question. I that is the absolutely the scouting report on him. Now, how they're going to use him, where he's most effective, I think Laker fans we'll talk more about this for Monday. Probably need to temper their expectations a little bit of this kid just becoming like instant defensive stopper, kind of thing. Like they got to figure out how to use him and when and where. And honestly, he will probably get the bulk of his minutes with South Bay and should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was fun to see him on the floor. Great end to the trip. Things are looking up again for the Lakers. They play Utah on Tuesday. There is at least the possibility that LeBron could make his debut in that game. If not, it is, I don't want to say certain, but seems quite likely that he would play Sunday, because Lakers don't play again. They play Tuesday and then Sunday against Utah. So a lot of rest and a lot of practice they can get in, and a section of the schedule that is opening up for some opportunities for the team. So a lot to look forward to over the course of the week. Locked On Lakers on YouTube, as we can hang out with over 37,000 subscribers to the channel. Thanks again for making us your first listen of every day and the network, the most popular in the universe. See everyone tomorrow.
Wait, no.
Oh, wait, no, we can't.
We're not seeing everyone yet. The reason that we are, because we're the number one network, groups like FanDuel, companies like FanDuel, they want to be with us. They want to be sponsoring this incredible podcast network. The NBA, it is definitely back. There's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of a game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Lakers didn't need one. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It makes every game more exciting, especially when your team's making that late push, or like tonight, not. Right now, FanDuel giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now.
All right. Now we'll see everyone tomorrow.